daylight and in darkness, the streets of Kyiv echo with a warning to get to safety.
It's cold in here. I'm currently in a shelter. It's my former school. I'll show you. There are a lot of windows, so it's not a very safe place.
19-year-old Denis Vischak has been bunkering down with his family for days.
This is my mother. She pretends to be hippie. Mom.
Make love for war.
Make love, not war.
Not war.
Denis's
family fled to this shelter after hearing explosions close to their neighbourhood.
Now, I've been sitting here only for 1 hour because, as for me, I'm not really scared of all this situation. I'm not panicking. I heard lots of explosions, but I didn't see them. So I simply heard the sound. Now I'm trying to show you the sound. I'm a bit scared of moving somewhere. Yes, it's my. This is a place I knew from when I was a child, so it's safer for me, I think, to stay here because I know every corner I can hide. Everything is gonna be all right.
Kiev is quite substantially surrounded, and you see lots of rapid movement, often on roads by Russian tanks in the south and in the east of the country, so it doesn't bode well. And of course, it's just the opening part of the invasion on the Russian side.
Professor Michael Kimmage was an advisor to the State Department on Ukraine and Russia during the Obama administration.
The kind of army that Ukraine faces is Europe's biggest conventional army, so it's David against Goliath. And if David is to prevail or to keep fighting for a while, David is going to need quite a bit of help from the outside.
He told 730 promised weaponry from the West may not be enough.
Stinger missiles, Javelin missiles, and ammunition is just not going to change the fundamental calculus of this war.
The Russians have been pretty upset about the fact that Turkey, a NATO ally, has supplied the Ukrainians with drones, so that they very capable and long-lived drones that can really spend a lot of time aloft. And so that has provided with the Ukrainians with some important surveillance capability to follow what the Russians are doing.
Rose Gottemoller is a former Deputy Secretary-General of NATO. She says the Russian military could be in for a protracted battle.
People are ready to stand and fight as individuals, not only in the armed forces context. So I do think this is a big risk for Putin and for the Russian military overall, that they could be facing a bloody insurgency over a lengthy time in Ukraine.
Ukrainians are already putting their bodies on the line to stop the Russian advance. Citizens are preparing, stockpiling and using Molotov cocktails. Far from hiding, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky is regularly posting messages of defiance. Ukraine's soldiers have also been attempting to raise their spirits.
If we will fall, the next will be other countries of the European continent. And it doesn't mean that it will happen tomorrow. Nobody believed us when we were saying that the Russians have much more serious plans than just attacking parts of our territory in the east and in Crimea. But Russians did. So learn on this experience.
Ivana Klimpuch-Sinzadze is a Ukrainian MP. She told 730 she fears she's on a list of public figures Russia will target for execution.
Obviously, they're also targeting the authorities, the current authorities of the countries. We are hearing that they might have the idea of changing the current authorities into the puppet regime, so that they would have someone who would actually be willing to accept their demands here in Ukraine. But the society is not going to accept their demands.
This is one of the most heroic, unforgettable, romantic, powerful moments of my life. I'm pumped with adrenaline, and I've never been more proud of my people.
Dr. Alexander Sherba is a former ambassador of Ukraine in Austria, now back in Kyiv, documenting the Russian assault.
Oh God, in the beginning it was absolutely terrifying. I mean, this is Kyiv, this is peaceful, wonderful, lovely city. The enemy comes and shoots and shells, shoots missiles at our apartment buildings. Like this morning, an apartment building was shelled with a cruise missile. Now this morning feels like an end of a vampire movie, you know. Just birds are chirping, it's quieter now. And it's much more hope right now than it was the night before.
The former diplomat is blunt about his people's fate.
We are fighting, and I hope the world will be reminded that freedom and democracy are worth fighting for, and global bullies should be stood up to.
That invasion, not such operation like Putin says, it's war. I want everyone to realize it. And war in Europe in 21st century, yes, it's real. I just want people from, in our case, from Australia to realize that Ukraine won't surrender. We will fight.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.